What's up, everyone? Back again with another review. Today we're going to talk about tires. Again. I hate tabletop reviews. That's why on this channel, you'll only find reviews of things that I use every day. I've got the Goodyear Wrangler Duratracs on this pickup, and as of right now, I'm right at 30,000 miles on these tires. So let's get to it. Oh, wow, it's hot out. I had the truck off trying to get that little first intro footage. It's like 83 degrees out and 100% humidity sitting inside of a black pickup. Woo, I'm sweating like a pig. Anyway, let's get on with the video. These are the Goodyear Wrangler Duratrac tires, and they were on this truck when I bought it. Brand new, installed from the dealer. And to date, I've put 30,000 miles on my truck, which means I've got 30,000 miles on these tires. And as you can see, they're still holding up pretty stinking good. I am actually very impressed with these tires. As you can see, the tires are pretty dirty because they've been coming down this road. It's got mud holes and water holes and stuff in it. But I thought it was a good spot to stop and do a review on this tire. Tread depth on this after 30,000 miles is really good, but let's check out what it really is. Let's see here. And that is, so we can get that to focus, 30 seconds of depth. Now I did some research before I started this video, and this tire, Goodyear says, comes new at 30 seconds, or roughly half an inch of tread depth, which is, it's okay for a mud tire. It's not great. But then that brings on another point. Is this truly a mud tire? Let's talk about that in a minute. At 30 seconds of tread depth, and it started out at 30 seconds, that means I've lost 30 seconds, or basically half an inch. At 30,000 miles, if I did the math on that, that's 7,500 miles per 30 second of tread wear. If you consider that the legal tread depth, the lowest that you can legally run a tire is down to 230 seconds, that means I've got 30 seconds of tread wear left. At 7,500 miles per 30 second of tread wear, it means I got 75,000 miles still left in these tires. That combined with the 30,000 that's already on them, if I continue rotating them and using them in the same fashion I have been, that means I'll get 105,000 miles out of these tires. That's incredible. Do I really think I'm going to get 105,000 miles out of these tires? Not really, but the math says I will. But Jeremy, you say that was the front tires. What about the rear tires, you asked? That's 30 seconds also. Don't know if I can get that to focus for you. 30 seconds. But how do they perform? On-road, off-road, back-road, dirt road, rainy roads, mud. We're going to talk all about that stuff here in this video, so stay for that. We're also going to get all nerdy on it and talk about the statistics of it and the data that's on the sidewalls. I've used this tire on dirt roads like I am right now. I've taken it in some mild mud. I'm not gone mud bogging with it. It's my daily driver truck. I'm not going to do that. I've also done some mild overlanding trips out in central Texas with it, and that's worked out fine. Well, and that's worked out fine too. As I drive down this dirt road, I gotta say that off-road or on these dirt roads, back roads, they perform great. They would perform like an all-terrain tire or a semi-mild mud terrain tire would expect. I don't have any issues. I got plenty of grip. Now Duratrac does call this a mud tire. I think that that's kind of a stretch. It is a fairly aggressive tire. It is probably more aggressive than your average all-terrain tire, but it's not as aggressive as a dedicated or full-on mud tire. So it's somewhere in the middle. I would call this tire a hybrid. Gosh, my truck is dirty. I'm gonna have to get this thing washed. All right, let's get into tire specifics. If you see here, this truck has the 275/55 R20 tires. That is the stock size tire that comes with this truck. So I have not upgraded tire size, even though this truck has a level kit on it. It's the stock size tire. The Goodyear Wrangler Duratrac comes in many different sizes. I think the biggest they go is like 35 inch, but for most vehicles you should be able to find a tire that fits, especially for pickups and SUVs. This is a mud and snow rated tire, and it's made in Canada. Even though they're mud and snow rated and made in Canada, you'll see that these tires are not pinned for studs, so you could not stud these tires for wintertime use. But I'm seeing more and more tire manufacturers getting away from doing that, and as more and more states make it illegal to run studs. Now admittedly, I can't attest to how these handle in snow or on ice because I live here in Texas and haven't had the opportunity to run them in those conditions. However, I have spent 38 years of my life in northern states, including a stint in Alaska for a little while, and so I do have a good idea what will work well and what won't, and I do believe that these tires will work well in snow and on ice. And from the comments I'm seeing online, a lot of people say they do. And as you can see, this tire has a load index rating of 113, which equates to 2,535 pounds of load carrying capacity per tire. Now, if you get a tire with a smaller wheel diameter than these 20s right here, and more sidewall, your load index rating typically will go up. Now, in this format, this tire would be a little on the light duty side for a heavy duty truck, although it would probably work. I would recommend this being for SUVs or half-ton pickups in this tire size. You'll also see on the sidewall of these tires the tread wear 500, traction of B, and temperature of B. Now this is something that tire manufacturers do not have to put on their tire, but Goodyear has chosen to do so, which I think is a good faith effort to show that they actually care. This is actually a standard, a grading standard developed by the DOT. It is somewhat not very reliable anymore, but it's a test that was conducted in western Texas where it's really hot, and the tread wear 500 on this particular tire means that it will last I think it is 5 times the benchmark tire that they tested against, which is a 7,500 mile tire. So this tire will go 5 times 7,500 miles. So I'll throw the math up on the screen here since I'm not going to do that in my head right now. Traction B, now that is the traction rating measured against wet concrete when they lock the tire up, how much traction it has. I'm not exactly sure how that test is conducted, but it's rated AA, A, B, and C. And this is a traction rating of B. And I'm not really sure what that equates to be honest with you. The last marking you'll see is temperature B, and that is in direct correlation to the speed rating on this tire, which means this tire is good from up to 100 to 115 mile per hour. I've ran it, the max I've gotten this tire up to is 95, and I've had 0 issues at 95 mile an hour, and I've ran that speed sustained for quite a few miles, no issues. Yeah, I just want to jump in here real quick and just mention that the Uniform Tire Quality Grade, or UTQG, was developed by the DOT many years ago. And not a lot of tire manufacturers put that on their sidewalls, and even fewer actually do it anymore. But Goodyear Tires still does. The ratings for this Uniform Tire Quality Grade is done by the tire manufacturer. It's not a third-party testing company. It's not the DOT or anybody else. With that said, the DOT has set regulations that the tire manufacturer can rate the tire lower than what it actually tested at, but not higher. And a good case in point is that tread wear of 500 times the 7,500 miles, which was 37,500 miles. Goodyear actually gives that tire a 50,000 mile warranty. So even though according to the UTQG rating it would only be good for 37,500, Goodyear's warrantying that tire for 50,000 miles. So that's a good point to show that Goodyear is actually derating that tire. That information on the sidewall is derated from what the tire is actually capable of. I should add in there that if you are running a different size tire on a different pickup, these stats might all change on the tire size and the application given. That's specifically for this 275/55 R20 on this tire size here. So don't take that information that it's going to be the same for all Goodyear Wrangler Duratracs. It's going to vary on the tire that you specifically get in your tire size. The last thing I want to talk about is how well have they performed while towing. If you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that I tow fairly often, And in this case, I have my Gray Wolf travel trailer here. It's a 30-footer that I tow with this Tundra, and it's towed that just fine. I've also towed other trailers, box trailers, cargo trailers and stuff with this truck and these tires with zero issue. Alright, so let's get down to it. Dry pavement and high heat, even cold temperature handling, these have been fantastic. Wet conditions, the rear end breaks loose, usually when I'm taking off from a dead stop, but once I'm rolling, I've never had an issue of them skidding or spinning out, nothing like that. And again, I think that's the truck's fault. On dirt road, gravel, rocks, and water crossings, overlanding type stuff also performed great. I've had no issue with traction or anything like that. These tires do have some natural siping in them, so that would give a little extra bite in those slick conditions for those of you that are up north. The tread width and blocks a little narrower than an actual mud tire, but wider than an all-terrain. That's what makes me say that this is more of a hybrid style tire. It's right in between. Road noise, for a tire that is aggressive as this one, it's really good. They're a little noisier than a say a highway tire or maybe an all-terrain tire might be, but not as bad as a mud terrain tire. And so I think the road noise on these is great. Vibration, I don't feel any vibration. This truck runs super smooth. I rotate these tires regularly, and so that helps a lot too. Keeping the tread wear on all tires nice and even also helps with the noise and vibration by making them wear down evenly as well. So, would I recommend this tire to anybody looking for a new tire? My verdict on that is absolutely yes. I've run a lot of different tires. I've run Toyos, I've run Coopers, the Federal Garages. I did a video on that. I'll link to that below in the description. This Goodyear Duratrac tire, honestly, is probably the best tire I've ever had. It's the best all-around performing. I've gotten the most mileage out of any tire I've ever run, even more so than the Toyos. And I've ran the Toyo mud terrains before, and they were a great tire, don't get me wrong, but I think these have really outperformed even the Toyo mud terrains. So I have nothing but positive remarks for this tire. Will I buy this tire again? Probably not. I like to try new things. So it's a great tire. I wouldn't hesitate or anything. Definitely recommend it. But I'm going to try something else and probably go to a bigger tire with a smaller wheel when I buy another set. So we'll see how many more miles I get out of these, or if I can even wait that long before I get to replacing these.